Hi guys, and welcome to yet another review, and this time around something more unique, something more unusual, something that has always kind of been one of my desires, which was to bring IEMs or stuff that is not usually seen or more commonly seen. And this time around I'm bringing you something from one.audio. I want to thank Alexander first and foremost for having me put into contact with the support team and the sales team from one.audio. So thank you, Alexander. Without you having pointed me in this direction, I probably would have never gotten the IEM because I would never have been able to contact them. Although I had seen the brand, I just didn't know how to get hold. And many times, even when you do get hold of contact details and so on and so forth, I guess the tendency is to not reply so as to avoid certain, I don't know, unnecessary interactions. But anyway, that's not important. What is important is one.audio. This is a high-end brand from China. They have put together a team of well, we always hope that this is the case, but in this particular case, I think it's been quite evident by my experience so far. They've definitely put together a team of not only enthusiasts in the audiophile world, but also capable people in terms of their knowledge and ability, technical ability to put together or to put down in the form of an earphone what they want an earphone to sound like. And coupled to that knowledge that they have, coupled with that, choose carefully the materials, choose carefully the drivers that you're going to be used, some of them even bespoke drivers. It all comes together in a manner where the inevitable consequence or the inevitable result is going to be a high quality product. And the Helios, the D100, which is the model that I have here for you today, it's a single DD priced at $284, is precisely that. There's a number of other IEMs, and I'm hopefully I will be able to test a few more. I would like to be able to test the Hesperos, the A300, which is a 3 BA IEM priced at more or less the same price, $270. There's also the Amarantine, which is a 5 BA, similar to you could say an RSV from Soft Ears. And my experience with the D100 has been, to cut a long story short, nothing short of exceptional. That's the reality. You guys that follow me know that. Anyway, before I carry on, let me just quickly take you through the box. Nothing special. I actually had to cut the box sleeve because it was so glued that it wasn't coming out. But inside, it's a simple affair, nothing really over the top in terms of its appearance. The IEMs came over there. That's the case with the box with the tips and some accessories. Over here was the actual case, which I'll show to you now in a second. 1 minute, please. There we go. So that's the case. Okay, one.audio ODA, nice case, tips, good quality, decent quality tips, nothing wrong there. I ended up using the KB ears only because I prefer the KB ears and how they sit in my ears, because the graph that I got from these ones and the graph that I got from that was exactly the same. That's it. Nothing, nice, simple. $284. Yes, it's a mid-priced priced IEM, but the accessories are there. Nice quality cable as well. If anything, maybe the exchangeable termination would have been nice, but it's not a deal breaker in any way. It's fine. As for the shell, wood shell, nice. You can see that there's been some smart tuning methods being used inside here. I'm assuming that they used some sort of a helmet resonator because of the way the size of these vents are. Wood shell, some sort of specialized treatment that they've done on the wood. And yeah, I mean, I really can't say. It's like a brownish reddish color, sits beautifully in my ears. Absolutely nothing to be said when it comes to the build, to the accessories. Spot on. That's it, spot on. I brought out two IEMs to again position the Helios and not necessarily to compare them, for you two guys to have an idea of how good and how capable I rate the D100. One of them is the TRI I1, an IEM priced at about the same price. An IEM which ticks most of the boxes. Beautiful cable, beautifully accessories package, Nice tips. The only problem here with the i1 was the tuning was a little bit on the overly bright side, which didn't really allow the driver, the dynamic driver, to showcase how good it was. But with a little handy tuning, which is what I've done, so this i1 has been retuned. This thing is exceptional. It is truly an exceptional IM. Obviously, not everybody has the ability to tune or to do what I've done. So I guess that is the one reason why the TRI i1 was not as successful as it could have been. And then there are countless of other IMs which just are put together in a more favorable manner to suit the more wider variety of people. So that's it. So although I'm placing and I compared the i1 with the D100, and this is i1 is being modified. Let's make two things perfectly clear. In its stock format, the i1 is no match to the D100. No match. The D100 is substantially better than the i1. And in its modified, retuned manner like I have here, then yes, it becomes a little bit more competitive, but the D100 still is much better than the i1. And like I said, the i1 is a good IM. It is. I'm sure there are people that enjoyed the way that the tuning was done. It was just that it was excessively, for a lot of people, was excessively done in the mids and upper mids, and that made the sound become a little bit more boring and fatiguing at higher volumes, not so much at low volumes, okay? And the other one that I have here on the other side is the famous Helios Isabellai. I mean, I didn't buy this unit new. I bought it secondhand. New, I would never have bought it for the $650 that it cost. I'll be straightforward. I'll be honest. Never. I bought this unit secondhand. I got a really, really good deal on it. The person that had it just didn't enjoy it, and it was a friend of mine, and he just very much kind of basically gave it away almost to me. I obviously give him money. We did part money, but it was a more of a symbolic value than anything else. Helios Isabellai is for me, Tony, one of the nicest single DD IMs out there. It just ticks all the right boxes for me, okay? And to cut a long story short, what I can say is that the ODI D100 and the Isabellai share a lot, but I mean a lot of common denominator. They both tick the same kind of boxes. And that's exactly the first thing that came to me when I started listening to the D100. The first time I put the D100 in my ears after letting it burn in for about 15 hours, just to kind of loosen up the driver a little bit. The burning process is always a very subjective one. But anyway, the first time I listened to it, immediately I said, I'm listening to the Helios. And I went and fetched my Helios, took it out, and compared it, and hold and behold, it was. They are that similar. Yes, there's a little bit more bass here on the D100. It's tuned with a little bit more bass, but interesting enough, when you do listen to the same song on both of them, you notice that the difference isn't as significant as what the graph might show you. And yes, there's also a little bit of a peak here at 5 on the D100, which doesn't exist on the Helios. But again, because of that extra bass that it's present here, that peak disappears, and it's like if it was straight. Otherwise, honestly, trust me, when I say you listen to one and you listen to the other, and you will be hard-pressed, unless you know a song to the last possible detail, you will be hard-pressed to distinguish between them. You're going to be hard-pressed. That's how good. So I'm basically already giving you a verdict on the D100. We are talking about an IM which has the playing capability of sounding like a $600+ IM. Yes, you can argue, but you're only comparing it to that one. There's countless other more expensive IMs. How does it compare to the Turi? How does it compare to the Twilight? Guys, I don't know, because I've never had those IMs with me. I know they are good. I know they sound fantastic. I'd love to be able to get my hands on one of them one day. When I do, I'll definitely do the comparison. But what I do know is when I compare this, and I took it and I compared it to some other stuff that I have, the Origin from Tantrum, I compared it to a couple of other priced at around $200 something IMs, Ear Acoustic, a whole bunch of other IMs priced at that point. The D100 was always on top there. Always. The D100 was always coming out on top. Yes, there were things that some of those other IMs did a little bit better than this. I'm not going to deny it. Yes, if you take something like, for example, the JD15, the FD15, sorry, from Fire. Maybe perhaps just a little bit more neutral across the board, so it will please those that want a musical neutrality to their song, to their music. Definitely, this one can sound a little bit more colored at times, especially because of the bass that it has. But the truth is this: if you want a musical experience, which is very high end, and that's exactly what the D100 is, the D100 is there. And I'm purposely trying to avoid doing certain comparisons because I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to, but I'll do them. If you guys tell me, listen, Tony, compare the D100 with this IM, compare the D100 with that IM, I'll do it. But what I can tell you is, when I take IMs which have got a more similar tuning to this, and I compare it to this, they have their merit in certain aspects. But overall, when you start ticking all the boxes of which one comes out on top, the D100 is definitely, but without a shadow of a doubt, top 3. Definitely. And more times than what you probably expect, it's the best one. It's that competent. That's how impressive I am. I am impressed. I am with the D100. I've been listening to the D100 basically every day for the last 10 days, 12 days since I've had it. And I listen to it a good 2-3 hours at times, especially at night when I go to bed, and I just listen to music, and I'm in a, let's say, more ideal environment. And it's my way of winding down after a hard day, and I am every single time impressed by how capable it is. I've even taken the D100 and compared it with stuff which is, some serious hybrids. Mega 5 EST, the 7th anniversary for my senior. KE4 from QE Ears, the Astral, some stuff from Symphony Ears as well. I took it out. Some stuff from Tangzu, the Manga T Pro. I've compared it to IMs which have got significantly more drivers, different configurations, and the D100 has not yet disappointed me. I have not yet found. Look, I'll go as far as this much. I'll go as far as this much. Do you guys remember when I reviewed the Kinera Loki? I said it was one of those IEMs that if I really had the money to spend, I would definitely, that would probably be the IEM, one of the IEMs that I would go crazy, lose my mind, and spend that amount of money on it. Okay? I did a comparison the other day of the Loki with this. And guys, trust me. The Loki is good. Loads of detail up top. Unquestionable. Musicality, musical-wise, the D100 is more impressive. And especially more impressive because it costs 10 times less money. That's the reality. It's 10 times less money. The Kinera Loki is unquestionably one of the most competent hybrid IEMs, tri-hybrid IEMs out there. Okay, the price, as I said, is always debatable, especially when you pass that $500-600 price point. It becomes the law of diminishing returns. I'm very hard pressed to see any reason to spend over $1,000 on IEM. Really, I truthfully am, especially with the quality of the IEMs nowadays. But the D100, when I took it out and I just did a quick comparison with the Loki, the D100 was like giving it hell. It was giving it hell, especially in the overall sense of musicality, of being, you just putting it in your ear and you're just like, wow, let me try this song, let me try that one. I'll give you some examples. Let me see. Grasshopper by the Slow Demand. I Don't Know Why by Chris Jones. Savannah by John Lena. A Train Song by Holly Cole. Wow, like holy cow, wow. Train Song by Holly, amazing. Bittersweet by Brian Gray, again phenomenal. Jamaica Heartbeat by Acoustic Alchemy, wow, tremendous. And then if I go the complete opposite way, like something like, let's say, well, not so much the complete opposite way, but Up and Up by Jeff Ryan, which is a very demanding song because of the sax, does it beautifully. No aggressiveness, no shoutiness, nothing. If I go to something like Vibra, which is a dub song, beautiful. Doppler Effect by Helly Larson, again phenomenal. the ability of the D100 to adapt itself to a various types of genres of music, and doing them not just well, but very, very well, has been the characteristic that has impressed me the most. And when I did this comparison, when I kind of listened to the Aureolus and I listened to that, and I was going back and forth, that's the thing that's, that kind of was always seduced me about the Aureolus. And it's like I say, yes, there are IMs priced at around the value of the D100 and perhaps even below, that with a specific type of thing that you are looking for, if you're looking for the ultimate in terms of details, it will probably be a little bit more competent. If you are looking for an IM that maybe has the ultimate in terms of detail, yes, unquestionably, something like maybe, even something like maybe the Puller, or the Intuado Balance. The Intuado Balance is a phenomenal IM, phenomenal. Maybe those will maybe even perhaps edge out slightly here the D100 when you consider everything, price and so on and so forth. But when you start putting then other things into the equation, okay, how is it its engagement? How is it the balance of the frequencies in terms of the various genres of music that you like listening to? You have to be impressed. I mean, this is an IM that has impressed me every bit as much as, for example, the MK12 from 12 Touries by Hydis. It's on that level of impressiveness. It's without a shadow of a doubt one of the IMs that I've listened to this year that has impressed me the most. And I think that already basically summarizes everything. Okay, so bass. It's a big, thick bass. It's loads of detail. It's phenomenal. It's got the right amount of weight. Everything is there. It doesn't overpower the vocals in any manner. Even when you look at the graph, you might think, it's going to be a little bit muddy. Nothing. The quality of the driver is exceptional. No doubts there. Vocals, phenomenal. It just sounds real. It's there. They're present. Timbre and tonality, out of this world. Female, male vocals, like I said, phenomenal. Treble extension, perfect. Little bit here and there, maybe just a little bit extra twinklies and sparklers. But guys, in no way is it a deal breaker. Extension past 10K, more than enough. It's got, although graphically it doesn't look like it, it's got enough to give it that nice big soundstage. It's got very much that high quality, high end, audiophile, old school type of music presentation. Okay, if I'm kind of maybe trying to convey a manner with which you guys will understand. And again, I think the best comparison I can do, or the best IM that I can use as a comparison for how good and how musical and what type of sound the D100, the Helios, is capable of, it's the Aureolus. The Aureolus, you listen to the Aureolus, the Isabellai, and if you're a fan of the Isabellai, and if you appreciate the Isabellai for what it can do, you will definitely like the Helios, and at the fraction of the price. That's the reality. It's a third of the price. Okay, guys, I'll just show you the graphs and we'll wrap it up. Okay, guys, so let's talk now graphs. Let's see what I have to show. And I started off straight away with the TRI, the i1, in its stock format. Okay, and in its stock format, and when I take actually let me make it in green so things can be differentiated. So when I take the TRI i1 in its stock format and I compare it with the ODA, which is what I've just placed out now, the ODA just walks all over it. It just tramples it. There's no comparison possible. There's excessive amounts of energy here in this 223 and then in the 5K area, and that, I think, is the biggest problem with the i1 from its day one, was the amount of energy that you had in this part of the frequency. Although you had monstrous bass, which was very high quality because it's a nice quality driver that they use there, it was just not balanced in a proper manner. Retuned, which is what I did, I got that, which is a big difference. Okay, and the retuned i1 compared with the D100, they are very similar, very identical. However, then what makes the D100 still stand out, the Helios stand out, is that the driver is more capable, it's more competent. Okay, and the overall tonality, the overall musicality that the driver on the D100 is the driver that's being used in the D100 has, it just makes the sound really like, it is really that impressive. I'm being dead honest. This is the D100 using the KBE 07 tips, but it measured the same for the stock tips. Just a little different peak, past 10K, but it's basically the same thing. So loads of bass, but nowhere is the amount of bass that you're getting what you would think in terms of, oh, it's too much, it's going to spoil things, it's going to muffle the music up top, it's going to sound, not, no, trust me, it sounds super balanced, super balanced, super balanced. 100 hertz point there corresponds to about 2.5 kilohertz. It's like kind of a plateau. This extra energy here actually gives the sound up top more of like a feeling of presence, a more physical feeling than anything else. Okay, which is something that, for example, on the i1, although you also have the same kind of sensation of loads of bass, when you compare the i1 lower frequency range with this, it sounds it doesn't have such a, it's physical, but it's a little bit more how can I put this, a little bit more colder slam, while this has got a warmer slam. The D100 has got this warmer slam that just makes the whole bass come across as a very pleasant, very satisfying experience. Okay, so D100 with the i1, I've compared it now with the Isabella, and I think it says it all. I know you guys will think, oh, but Tony, there's differences. I mean, it doesn't look the same. Fair enough. Now, two things here. Where that corresponds on the D100 and what it corresponds on that area, as you can see, we have basically the same sort of similarity here on the Isabella. You just don't have that 5 kilohertz peak. Otherwise, it's the same thing. And that's the reason why they sound similar to start with. Okay? That's the first reason why they sound similar. But then you can argue, oh, but the 100 hertz, you've also got energy below. Yeah, but that energy that you got here is just in the right amount to make this peak here at 5 kilohertz disappear. It's not there. And so ultimately what you get is two IMs that, although they graph with these differences here in the low frequency and here in the 5 kilohertz region, they sound, I would say, 96% identical. The feel of the bass, the presence of the bass, the physicality of the bass, the warmness, the clarity, everything is like almost identical. It's ridiculous how similar they are. And that's why I say, if you enjoy the Orioles, if the Orioles is something that you like, you will definitely enjoy the D100. And I dare say, I'll even go further. I will dare say that because of the price difference that exists, the D100 will impress even more. Okay, that's how good I think the D100 is. I know you guys will think, oh, but you're shilling. I'm not shilling. I'm just being enthusiastic about what I hear and what I feel and guys, I've listened to, I'm not going to say thousands of IMs, but in the hundreds, okay? In the hundreds of IMs. And you get to a point where you listen to IM or the IM, and sometimes, yes, you say, okay, let me give it a little bit more chance, see if it works on me, if it, Other times, you just listen to it the first time and it just clicks. It's like when you meet somebody. And in my country we say, my saint goes with that person's saint, my soul goes with that person's soul, and you just have an empathy for that person and you just like that person straight away. And other people you just don't like, and other people you kind of, okay, let me see what this goes out, you kind of, your first impression is a little bit unclear, and sometimes that first impression then becomes positive, and sometimes that first impression becomes negative. But in the initial impression, it's not a positive impression. And the positive impression that I had with the D100 was a very, very favorable one. It's my cup of tea. Period. It's as simple as that. And to be honest, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for more people to actually try the D100, the Helios, to see that I am, not talking out of my behind when I say what I say about the D100. And I cannot wait, honestly, to be able to try out other products from them, see what I can get next, see what I am able to afford to get, and bring it to you guys, because this is a brand that definitely deserves way more attention than what it's getting right now. Definitely deserves more attention. Anyway, like and subscribe. Any questions, please feel free to ask me. Take care now. Bye-bye.